Hello and welcome, YouTube. Welcome to 10E Productions with 10. I am 10, your host, obviously. In today's video, we're going to do some more painting. You notice in the background I have silver paint and Mod Podge because I'm going to be using that to form the primer coat for a model my friend 3D printed. To be honest, I know it's from No Man's Sky. I just don't know what the class model is. I personally never played the game, but I think it's an S class series. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll do some research as I'm waiting for the primer to dry, and I'll be able to tell you what it is in the next jump cut. Well, not next jump cut, but the next. Um, well, after the primer dries. Yeah, I'm ranting here. But anyways, I figured that I'd start off with a coat of silver to make it look metallic, so that when I put on the color scheme that my friend wants, it will give it like that sheen underneath to make it look like it was actually painted on real metal, not just the plastic. My friend 3D prints his ships and all that and other models. I'll post a link in the description to his page if you want to check him out. He also did fish care for a while, but those videos are there too if you want to check those out as well. Um, so I'm going to show you the Mod Podge mixture after I make it, and then we'll start coating at least what I can. Actually, I might try it like this because that seems like I can get all the angles, at least most of them. So yeah, we can paint most of it pretty much with the Mod Podge, let it dry, and then I'll start detailing it. Um, the ship that he gave me that he wants me to do the color scheme of is not the model of this. It's the one that was used as the incentive, the Omega ship or something like that. The rockets are on the outside of the wing, not the inside. But you know what? That's not going to stop me. I can adapt it to this model here. So now that I've mixed my acrylic paint with the Mod Podge, I'm ready to paint. Now, you also may be asking, why am I using Mod Podge when I can actually use an actual primer? Well, I can, and I have some, but I don't want to. I mean, the I like using Mod Podge for slightly larger models. Um, I feel that it gives it a good holding point. The glue of the Mod Podge, you can actually buy it almost anywhere. Even the Dollar Tree sells it. They sell like these little bottles that are about this big of Mod Podge. Um, in fact, you can actually put prime acrylic paint into it and make it your primer. I have one that's with black paint that I use. But like I said, I'm going to be using silver paint for this one. So we'll start painting it. I looked it up, by the way, and it doesn't give me the exact name of the ship. I can't find the name, but the other one is Horizon Omega. The color scheme that he wants. The blue one, it's got basically mostly blue with a white right here. The white the this part of the fuselage is white. Um, the markings here are black. Like I said, the thrusters, the engines themselves are not here, but here and here. So with that being said, it shouldn't be that hard to adapt. Let's start painting. You just want to basically spread the Mod Podge on. It may take one or two coats, but the glue itself will help bind the paint to the plastic surface. You want that primer on most of these surfaces because it won't hold otherwise. That's what the primer's for. It gives it a good anchor to bind to. Um, this is why I like using Mod Podge because it gives it a good anchor. Um, I've painted other 3D printed models before, and I've used both normal primer and Mod Podge. Both work um, to different degrees. Yes, Mod Podge is not the greatest, but it's not the worst. It works. It works well. Sorry, I'm just painting here. Like I said, it's a matter of what your preferences are and if you can or cannot afford to get primer. Because sometimes that kind of stuff adds up and you just need to make do with what you have available. It's not okay, not bad to use Mod Podge. I actually use it on models that I build using styrofoam. In fact, I use this styrofoam here as model. I actually learned the techniques watching other YouTubers like Black Magic Craft, who I love watching. You should check out his channel too. It's actually pretty cool. Um, but yeah, you don't want to use the Mod Podge though on smaller models like the figurines themselves. You can use it mainly on like scenery because scenery tends to be large, whereas figurines you want that fine um, tooling and all that. You also don't want to use cheaper paints on smaller models. Again, the pigments are too large. Like I said, this should be no problem using the paints from Walmart or the not the Dollar Tree though. Don't use the Dollar Tree ones. Um, these are the ones you get from the Dollar Tree. I mean, I use these only mainly to the white one to lighten the paints I use. It's cheap, it's $1, and you get a pretty good amount. You get about what 2 ounces compared. Actually, that is the same amount. Wow, I paid $2 for this one, but then again, that's shiny. And then these are the ones that you get from like Walmart and all that for 50 cents. It's about the same amount, depending on what type you make. I get if it's metallic or certain colors, they're like $2. If it's these cheapo ones, you can get them for like 50 cents. Um, it's whatever is available, whatever you have a chance to get your hands on. I say try out different things. Um, like I said, you just want to coat and make sure you don't get any pooling. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to spread out the um, initial coat. I'm going to definitely have to give it a second coat because it doesn't look like it's actually coloring it. I'll probably add some more silver to my, or like actual gray, like a pewter or something like that, or maybe a slate to darken it up a little bit for my second coat. But like I said, I'm just trying to get a primary coat down so that it will take any other paints that I put on there. It doesn't take that long to dry either. It's about an hour at best if you really want it. Um, when I do models, I actually wait 24 hours to fully make sure that the paints are dried. The primer that I use will dry within an hour, so I don't have to wait too long. It's just a spray can of primer that I use. I don't really have a preference in type, so I'm not going to name any. Because honestly, I'm also terrible with names, so I don't really pay attention to what I use. Um, but yeah, this is coated. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure that I don't get any of those globs because that makes it unsightly. I'm using a thicker brush. Also, I bought like a really nice brush set that has like a multitude of different flat brushes. I also bought another one that gives it a See, actually, you can see right there how it's a little bit shinier now. That's the silver part of it. Like I said, it gives it a shine to it, makes it a little bit more metallic looking. So I guess it is working, but I'm gonna probably have to add that second coat after this one dries. Um, so once it dries, I'll come back and I'll give it a second coat and I'll show you the results of what that coat looks like. This will probably take me a couple of hours to do. It's the weekend, so I'm not really working or anything like that. Um, my schedule, by the way, for these videos might change a little bit due to the fact that my job may be going back to its normal schedule, meaning I will have to wake up at about 4:30 in the morning to get ready for a 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock run, depending on who I get on my run. Um, Not really going to go more into detail. I like my job too much to lose it. Um, but it will change how often I can upload videos because unfortunately it means I'm going to have to go to sleep earlier so I can get at least a decent night's sleep. Since I drive for a living, decent sleeps are essential. You don't want to fall asleep behind the wheel because it's not just your life that you're going to take. It's going to be yours. It's going to be any passenger you have. It's going to be anybody you hit and anybody they hit. So it's all on your head if you fall asleep behind the wheel. Please, 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 if you're going to drive long distances, make sure you have a good night's sleep. And one of your passengers is also a driver so you can switch off. If you are the only one, I suggest that for every 4 hours you drive, you take an hour, a half hour to hour break. Naps are not out of the question. In fact, my defensive driving, not defensive art. Wow. Yeah. I'm going to protect myself with art. My defensive driving instructor tells us that you should take 10 to 30-minute power naps if you need to, so that you're feeling refreshed. Don't take anything longer than that because then you actually start reversing the effects of power naps. It sounds convoluted, but they actually say a good nap is between 10 to 30 minutes. And I wholeheartedly agree with them. I actually do take regular naps on my job when I get a chance to, if necessary. And trust me, it does help. Especially after a bad night of not sleeping. Half hour here, 10 minutes there actually feels great. But this is actually shaping up pretty good. The painting. Actually quite thoroughly enjoying this. So this is going to be a couple part series because I'm getting near the time frame of how long it takes to make a YouTube video. I'm trying not to go over 20 minutes just because it also takes time for me to upload and work out how to make these videos. So again, I'm gonna put this to dry, and when it does, I'll put on a second coat and I'll show you the results. in a few. Alrighty. Alright, so it's fully dried. Um, or pretty much dried. So I'm going to add the second coat of primer just for that underlaying thing. If you notice, my paint's a little bit darker because I did add pewter to it to make it darker. As you can see, it is now giving the color detail that I actually do want. So I'm going to finish painting it off camera, and I'll show you what it looks like once I'm finished. Alright, so I finished the coating, and if you notice, it's a lot darker now, and it's still wet. So I'm going to actually end the video now, and I'll start a second video with it being fully dried. I might upload it tomorrow, make it a couple of part series. Oh no! Just want to make sure little bits don't stick to it. If it's a little patchy, I'll probably touch it up again as it fully dries. Didn't come out too bad. The reason why I also like using Mod Podge is because even though you smooth it with a sandpaper or like a file, it sometimes still has these weird textures, and I feel like the Mod Podge actually makes it a little bit smoother. If you have a better technique, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I do use primer, so that's not anything new to me. I guess, you know what, it's a matter of what you want to do and how you want to do it. But, you know, hopefully it turns out for the best. And my friend likes it. Like I said, I'll link his pages in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Just want to remove some of that extra paint there. So apparently I missed a spot. I will see you in the next video with hopefully my spaceship being dried and ready to get going. With that, adios y hasta luego.